Hey friends, welcome to Keim Farms. Today I'm outside. It's 50-degree weather today. The rest of the week is going to be super cold, so I wanted to get out here and I thought I would kind of show you guys around the garden and some of our plans for the future. If you're new to Keim Farms, I thought I would show you around kind of our existing garden beds, and it doesn't look like much right now, but you can kind of get an idea of where we're growing. If you're someone who buys our produce, you can see where your garden goodies are coming from. So let's take a look around. This is kind of an overview of the garden. You can see the beds there. That is our little gazebo thing. Some more beds. We just put all of this new row in last year. It's all new. The other two rows going the other direction were existing the years before. So we've got these beds with trellises. There's Miss Avery. We've got this little seating area. We haven't really got this set up fully how we want it. It's just kind of some random things we've had. We've got our archway with wisteria growing on it. And you can look down and see the beds here. Down this way, and then over here, and more beds, lots of garden beds. So you can see we kind of got a lot of growing space, but still not enough. You can never have enough. Never enough. One of the things we're going to be doing to make a little more space is we're going to be taking all of these strawberries out and kind of moving them, and hope to grow them vertically in a different area, so that would give us a little bit more grow space. These strawberries, we started with 5 small plants and they've taken over. They're overgrown too, so they're not producing as well as they could be, so we need to kind of spread them out. Here is one of our other grow areas here. Let you take a look. This is where our berries are. We also moved a few strawberry plants over here. We also have a fig tree there. And we planted a ton of tulips and bulbs in here for this spring. We'll have more room to grow in here. We're going to put another trellis there. I'm going to grow cucamelons along here with the berries, plus some other things. We've also got this bed over here. It's got a couple blueberry plants, and then this is pretty much empty. I planted a few bulbs here, not many, but we've got this whole area where we can plant and grow things, and we've got that trellis already put in there. So hopefully we'll probably be putting some, this gets shade, so probably some greens will go here this spring, and possibly some flowers going into the summer. This here is another bed on the side of our house. We have a ton of tulip bulbs here. We've got lavender, daisies. Coming this spring, we want to get some irrigation ran over here and use this for whatever we can grow, flowers, okra, corn, you name it, whatever we can get in here. This gets full sun most of the day, so this will be a potential more growing space here. That is a lot of our current grow space, but let me go ahead and kind of show you around some of the areas where we are thinking about expanding and creating some new spaces to grow cut flowers and really anything we can get to fit in. First one is this area here. We have a small flower bed over there with a starter lilac bush, and we planted a few bulbs there, but we're thinking of turning this whole grassy area in here all the way up to the shed, or the end of the driveway, turning that into a bed here where we can plant flowers or whatever. So it's quite a big space here. It'll probably be an in-ground garden here. We'll have to do a lot of work to get that set up. One thing we like about this space is if we walk around to the back of the shed, this is where Matt has put in all of our rain barrels. So the thought here is the rain barrels don't have enough elevation to make it back to the garden beds because it's an upward slope, but we were thinking we can run a line off of these down to that new bed that we're thinking about making right over here, and it would have the slope that it needs where we can utilize the rain barrels for watering that garden. That's the hope. We will see if that happens. A lot of projects still yet to do. Another project this spring, or as the weather is warm, is we're wanting to rework our compost. These are just too large. We put a lot of old clay soil that we dug up, and we put a bunch of mulch, and it just became too much for us to mix and move, and it just wasn't being utilized because it was just too hard to manage. So we're going to try to shrink these down into some smaller sizes and be very intentional about what we put in them. And we're going to maybe have, instead of 2 large ones, have 3 or 4 small ones, and rotate the compost more often and consistently, and hopefully we can utilize that compost in our garden a lot more effectively and get rid of these composts that aren't working. One thing too that has been a struggle is this compost here. It was sitting here so long that roots have begun to grow up. I don't know if they're tree roots or if some of our neighbors' plants back there, but this actually is full of roots that are growing, so that's kind of a struggle. We've been working on digging it up this fall, and we did pretty good, but still got a ways to go. Another thing we're going to be doing this year to save space is I'm going to be trying to plant all of our potatoes in containers. We've got a lot of industrial containers that we've gotten, and I'll probably set them out here in the front of the garden, and we're going to fill them with dirt and try to grow our potatoes in containers this year, just to give us more space to grow other things. Matt has constantly talked about putting more rows, garden bed rows in here. I'm always the one that's hesitant, like, no, let's just, you know, a little bit more, and he's like, let's just do it all in one shot and fill it up. So that is always a possibility. I don't know that we'll be doing that this spring. We've already, you know, got a lot going on. But he continues to talk about just expanding this out. Again, I don't think we'll do that this year, but it is a possibility of something to come. I've also thought about putting a bed right here along our deck. I can put it with some pretty cut flowers or veggies or mixed or whatever. Again, I don't know if that's going to be this coming year, but it is a possibility. This area here back by our berry beds, we just had all of the lines marked. There's a lot of lines over here that connect to the house. We've got all the flags put out and marked. I would like to do some planting here, but it will have to be more raised beds, taller, not in ground, just because of all the lines. We may be able to work around them, but I'd like to see some fruit trees here, and some high raised beds. That is something that I'd like to see us do here in this area. Also, we're going to be extending this bed and planting along the fence, kind of right where Avery is. So we're going to extend this bed out. There is a line right here, so it'll be a very narrow bed here along the fence, but we want to extend that down. We did do a little bit of planting here before. I've dug this out and I planted some corn, but it was really old seed and it didn't do anything. But we'll probably do that again, plant something along this fence. We're just really trying to utilize as much space as we can for growing. The hardest part about all of this is the irrigation part. If I have to water it by hand, I'm not as consistent, and it takes a lot of time to water by hands. So getting the irrigation in, getting the beds ready early spring will be the key to, you know, really utilizing these new growing spaces that we're wanting to create. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys around, kind of for anyone that's new, kind of show you our growing space, and you will be amazed at how it transforms over the spring and summer and what it looks like. It is beautiful, and we can't wait to show it to you and share it with you when it's in its full glory. All right, until next time, keep growing through the struggles and successes, the memories and messes, and let's grow something beautiful together. All right, bye guys.